Okay, so Ben's wearing, I'm clicking, it's all clicking. Ben's wearing a shirt that says Terriers. And Hannah, to that, Hannah says...
Terriers, more like derriers, am I right?
Terriers, more like terriers, am I right?
And then Ben lost his fucking shit.
Fuck yes.
Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups. Getting more grown-up every day, am I right? I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hello! You sounded like you needed a sip of water. Hello, Ben.
Hello.
Getting more grown up every day, but yet, like, your opening line when you saw Ben in his terrier shirt was Terriers more like derriers, am I right? So I feel like not getting more
That's really, I mean, what? It's a very adult word, derriers.
Yeah, it's like, that's French. I'm just speaking French. So, and everybody in France is a grown-up, as we all know.
Yeah, that's true.
So, did you know that derriere means behind in French?
I did.
Okay, we're just having a silly time tonight. It's a silly Friday edition of WayTooBroad, and it's the first episode of the Biden administration. Is that
Hell
true?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I'm pretty excited that nothing bad happened at the inauguration. I feel like we were all holding our breath a little bit. And so, now we have maybe some mental energy freed up to think about things other than politics, although I'll emphasize now, as I do to myself all the time, that it's still really important to keep your eyes on politics and what is going on with our country. I think I was not as engaged as I should have been before, and then I was too engaged for my mental health during the Trump administration, so I'm looking for that sweet balance point for the next 4 years. So,
Yep.
we'll see. Anyway,
balance.
what are we drinking? Erin, what are you drinking?
We're drinking a sweet cup of balance. I've got 3 drinks here. Well, I've got 4 technically, but I tried to finish the one. I'm going to finish it. So I don't have to talk about it. All right, so I've got 3 drinks here. I've got an ice water, I've got a black cherry seltzer, and I've got a big mug of that vanilla bean macaron Tazo tea. Ooh, she likes it.
It's not French, but it is delicious.
It's not. Did you know in French it means French macaron, vanilla bean?
Yeah.
Who's next? What are they drinking?
Ben, what are you drinking?
Water, 2 of them. You know how it is.
2 waters.
Le.
Two waters.
Du l'eau.
I also have water. Oh, look.
Wow.
You can see my pretty nails behind it.
Wow.
Okay.
She's dynamic.
Guys. Yeah. I got some new nail art toys courtesy of our mother, Aunt Brown, and for Crimbus, and she ordered them to be delivered to my house, and I've been playing with them all week. Anyway, I am drinking water, and I have a new Omegang tart wheat ale with peach and apricot called Apripèche. Speaking of French. And this is the brewery Ian's toured it a bunch of times. I've only toured it once, but this is a brewery that's out near Cooperstown in New York, which is near where Ian's family is from. I mean, it's not far from where we have family either. And it's a really cool place. Actually, we were supposed to go to a concert there last summer, but that obviously didn't happen either. But they brought out 2 new sour beers, and we have tried both of them before. I mean, we've had them in our house already. But this one is like very cidery. It's like tart, but it tastes more like a tart cider than a tart beer.
That sounds really pleasant.
Isn't Cooperstown
Yeah, I like it.
really far away from where our family's from? Where is Cooperstown?
I mean, it's not like Buffalo side of New York. It's like I don't know how far it is.
It's near Cooper.
Not as far as I thought looking at the map.
Right near Cooper.
I really thought Cooperstown was like way farther north, I think. I don't know why I thought that.
No, it's an hour and a half almost due west of Albany. Yeah. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere in terms of upstate New York.
It's like right between Albany and Syracuse. Like right there between Albany and Syracuse. New York.
Thanks for coming to our Where's Cooperstown segment.
One time, Ian and I were... So, this is a fun story about that part of upstate New York. Cooperstown is like the only part of that area in New York that... New York State that seems remotely like it's actually in the 21st century. One time, Ian and I were in the town that his grandmother lived in before she passed away, and we needed to make some color copies, and and she didn't have a copier, and the library didn't have one. The one at the grocery store was broken, and so we ended up having to like drive. We spent the entire day driving around just trying to find a place to make color copies of one piece of paper.
Wow.
It was so crazy.
Wow. That's why they call it Cooperstown, not Copies Town.
Yeah, and there's one movie theater in the whole county.
Wow.
So
yeah. That's why it's not called Movie Town.
That's why it's not called Movie Town, exactly.
Nice.
I think I just heard Ian laugh at that joke. Wait, I should tell him about the other one.
Please,
hey,
wait, please give me credit for the Movie Town one. I don't want him walking around thinking, oh, my wife is so funny. She came up with this great joke. You know what she said? She said, that's why it's not called Cooperstown. That's why it's not called Movie Town or something like that. I just never heard it. She was recording her podcast, but she's really funny. Check it out. It's called WayTooBroad. I don't want him saying that.
Okay, let me bring him in here for a second. Hey, Ian, can you come here for a minute? We gotta tell you some jokes. Okay.
Molly's in the bath, or else I would go bring her into this too.
Oh, you got her
Here,
in the
take
bath
this.
train?
I got her in the bath. That didn't sound right. She got her into the baths.
Okay, come just lean over. We only need you for a minute. You can sit if you want. But... Okay, so
what's up, Ian?
first
We
of
got
all,
some
did
jokes.
you hear the Cooperstown joke?
Part of it.
I said that there's only one movie theater in the whole county, and then Erin said that's why it's not called Movie Town.
Technically, that's a different county.
It's a different county. Okay. Anyway, and the other joke was, if you take a look, Ben, can you show Ian your shirt? Ben's wearing a shirt that says Terriers. So I said, Terriers, more like derriers, right?
Right.
Right.
I feel like you said that like 10 times, so Ian, you must have heard her say that before this very moment.
It's possible.
So, okay. And then Erin said, Terriers, more like derriere hairs. What do you think of that one?
Terrier hairs, why not dye your hairs? No.
Okay.
So good.
Ian's trying to workshop it, so I think that's a no.
Let us know if you come up with anything.
Okay, let us know if you come up with anything. Okay,
Cool.
great.
So are we
Cool.
keeping
Well,
track?
we're
So
over
far, the
two.
most successful joke of the podcast yet is the Movie Town one. A surprise to me. A surprise to me. But we'll keep updating it. We'll keep updating the winner, and we'll declare the winning joke at the end of the podcast. Thank you.
As we always do.
As we
every
always
week.
do.
Yeah. Yes, that's what we're drinking. So
Yes, that's what we're drinking.
hold on. I'm just checking the emails. I don't think
we can't do that yet. We have
What?
we have an unprecedented scenario where I know we're getting an email, but it's not ready yet.
Wow. What?
Wow. Is she writing it in the bath? Oh,
No,
it's not Molly.
It's not from Molly. Molly's in the bathroom writing an email. Loyal listener Sam is writing us an email
Right this moment?
right this very moment.
Wow, that's so
This
exciting.
email was promised to me, highly anticipated, and I even know who's going to read it. I don't know the full contents of it and the general themes. So imagine my surprise when here we are, podcast recording time, and I open up the email. Where's the email? So we're waiting for it.
I'm just gonna smash refresh on the. Oh, we got it.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Okay, who's going to read it?
Well, we got an email.
I think Hannah's gonna read it.
Yeah, Hannah. This is for Hannah.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is from Samantha. Hi, Sam. Thank you for writing to us and
That's
listening.
what she said in the email.
She said, please read this all word for word. And then she started with a bunch of compliments to herself. So that's interesting. No, this is, the subject line is hot take or two on Bridgerton. I feel like I'm potentially about to have my ass handed to me, but that's fine. Okay, pod friends, love the Bridgerton discussion and had some thoughts to share. Up fronts, I've watched the entire season 2.5 times and just finished reading the book, which totally changed my perspective of the story. 2, spoilers contained for any listeners who want to skip. Okay, so maybe I'm not going to have my ass handed to me. Great. I just had a feeling she didn't like it, but I feel like she wouldn't have watched it 2.5 times if she didn't at least think it was interesting.
Maybe she's going to hand you some terriers and not your derriers. Am I right?
All right, now on to my thoughts. So I don't know, I'm not going to be able to put timestamps in, but if you're concerned about Bridgerton spoilers, like, just pause the show and go watch Bridgerton at this point. Okay, my thoughts, a mini thesis. All in all, I agree with the analysis in last week's discussion. The show is definitely entertaining and far from perfect. My general thesis is that beyond the sex scenes, my read on the show is that it's emotional porn for cisgendered hetero women based on the way Daphne establishes the power balance in a relationship with a man during courtship that many women wish but don't actually see. Yeah. Additionally, I believe many women are not as educated as Kylie and Hannah about their sexual identity and health, and so they see themselves in that. Oh, like about like how they actually don't know very much about sex. That's interesting. Maybe we're too old to fully appreciate it. One of my biggest issues is that the story of the marriage in the series is manipulation. Is manipulation, which obviously isn't great, but I think it is the continuation of how this is porn for today's white woman because, one, it's what the female lead, Daphne, and presumably most cis-het women know of how to get what she wants in a marriage, and 2, when she does get what she wants, it's to deliver on societal expectations. Yeah, absolutely. This is an issue for a lot of reasons, but especially for how it differs from the book. Book Daphne is willing to imagine what life might be like outside of those bounds, especially as it relates to being a satisfied and successful woman, potentially without motherhood. While book Daphne wants a child from the start, she welcomes Simon to tell her he doesn't want a baby over and over as long as it's for him and not to spite his dad. It's not right to force anyone to have a child no matter their gender, and they really misrepresented the discussion about children. I'm sad it focused mostly on who is more duplicitous between the two leads when it could have been what's life outside of what a person is told to be. See, that would have been a really great, and I actually think that would have been more consistent in terms of characterization because, so the thing that, we're just talking spoilers right now, the thing that was so frustrating that Kylie and I were kind of getting at without talking about is that, about that relationship, the main relationship, is that they were really, really good communicators until they had this, manipulative wedding thing happen, and then they didn't speak again until their wedding night, when they like finally decided that, excuse me, they finally realized that both of them actually wanted the other person, which is crazy.
Wow.
Because they obviously did, for like, it was so very obvious. And then the whole child thing and the miscommunication / manipulation of him being like, I can't give you children, instead of saying, I don't want to, and telling her why until the very end, like, didn't allow them to have any type of discussion about, like, what are his motivations and what are her motivations and what do both of them really want and what could they build one way or the other. It was just like, she was made to believe that he was incapable of producing a child for her, or, you know, causing her to. So, like, I would have loved to see them have a frank discussion together about, like, you know, it's okay if you don't want children, but just saying that you don't want children despite your father is stupid. And needs to be, like, you know, explored further before you make that type of commitment for both of our lives. Great point. I'm interested to read the books then. Another thing that makes me incredibly upset, this is now back to the email. Sorry. Another thing that makes me incredibly upset is that in the book there was only the Daphne Simon storyline, and they stayed fairly close to that. Netflix took a ton of artistic liberties, as there were no king/queen, Marina, Anthony, Sienna, or any of the other fun storylines. As mentioned, the production team missed some very serious opportunities to explore the gender bending, homosexual relationships, and a world accepted without racism, but instead took some liberties while making it more palatable for a status quo audience. And then she said, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Very interesting. So a lot of the stuff that was in there as far as side storylines was not from the book. So they could have, like, fully explored all kinds of fun stuff and chose not to. Disappointing. Wow, so interesting. I wonder, it's like a series of books. I wonder if Sam has read more than one of them. Because I think each one explores a different sibling.
I think, well, I know that she was having the book read to her and, like, finished it this week.
I don't think I actually said this last time, but there are, like, 7 or 8 Bridgerton siblings, and they're all named in alphabetical order. So the oldest one is Anthony, and the youngest one is something H, I forget. And
is it Anthony?
Anthony, Banthony, Canthony, Danthony. Daphne is not that far off. And they, I think each book might, like, explore a different one's life. So I wonder if I wonder how many of those storylines were pulled from other books rather than from thin air. But I don't know. So maybe I'll have it read to me. Well, that's interesting. It seems like they didn't do the best job adapting it. And if they were going to take some liberties, they took frustrating liberties. But this is really interesting and very, very good takes all around, Sam. Thank you for your contribution. Just under the wire. Thank
you for the email. Thank you for allowing me to pressure you into finishing the email and then sending it on my timeline.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's awesome. Erin, thank you for facilitating getting the email in.
Listen,
just in time.
I'm here to facilitate almost all podcast emails. Okay, and voicemails. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't suggest this one. This was Sam's idea, and I do appreciate it. Actually, no, you know what? I did encourage her to write us an email.
Is it because she was trying to talk to you about it and you were like, I actually don't know anything about this show. You need to talk to Hannah.
Pretty much.
That's cool. I'm glad that you did.
We gotta keep it. We gotta keep it in the channel. You know, on the podcast channel. We gotta keep feeding it through. It's the way we do. Oh, speaking of which, I got an upfront. I got a big fat upfront.
Ooh.
I, today, during playground time at work, did the Roll-A-Ball Unity tutorial that Kylie was talking about last week. It was so fucking fun. I made a whole ass game, you guys.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
It was really cool.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
Fucking cool as hell, bro.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll make a build for you. You can play it on Daddy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
We did get some feedback from our brother Lucas saying that he was loving having Kylie as the 5th host last week. There were only 4 of us, but I like to think that the 5th host was the friends we made along the way.
Nice.
I like to think we all have a little extra the normal personality, and it's enough to make up a 5th person.
Yep.
There's only 4 of us, but it feels like there's 5.
Yeah. I agree. It was very fun when Kylie was here.
Yeah.
But then she did not like any of our jokes this
Didn't
week.
like the jokes.
Yeah, so actually she's banned, weirdly.
Yeah, that pretty much, like, was an interview,
Yeah.
and she failed it.
Yeah, Kylie, more like derriere, am I right? Thank you.
See what she thinks of that one.
Ben, go ask her what she thinks of that one.
No.
Oh, man.
Okay, hold on, I'll ask her.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, I just messaged her.
Do Marco Polo or do
okay.
do Marco Polo her.
Do Marco Polo her. Kylie, more like derriere, am I right? Let me know what you thought of that one.
Kylie, check your phone. Check Marco Polo.
Honestly, I hate you people.
Wow. Well, you hate us, but I get carrier. Am I right about you? What'd you think of that one?
It's good.
Kylie, what did you think of that one?
Are we trolling Kylie?
Yeah, I hate us because you ain't us. Derriere.
Oh my god.
Kylie, whenever you can, let us know what you think of that one. Get back to us.
Aren't you guys like supposed to be recording a podcast?
Okay, this is gonna be a nightmare to edit.
All right. I don't think I have any upfronts. Great job with... I do want to play your game if it's possible. And the jokes. Great job with the game and the jokes, everybody. How do you play it? Do we have to download it?
Yeah, I can send it on up. It's a humble game. You know, it's just a little humble, kind of out of the box tutorial that I followed. I haven't spent any time doing anything extra with it yet, but I had a lot of fun.
Oh, that's something that Kylie probably would want to hear about, but we shouldn't.
I already told her about it.
Oh,
Am I right?
Okay.
So I already was slacking with her. Am I right? So.
Am I right?
Am I right?
All right, then let's pop in. Am I right?
Yeah, let's.
Okay, Erin,
right.
what's your obsession?
Gosh, I've been a little torn, but I will. Gosh, what am I gonna do? Well, I gotta go with this one. It's not really an obsession. It's just like something I found mildly amusing this week. I have a mildly amusing one. It's a show on Netflix. It's a limited series. It's like 7 episodes, 7 half-hour episodes, and it's called Pretend It's a City. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's Fran Lebowitz. Do you know who she is? She's like an older lesbian. She's a writer. She lives in New York City. She's a notable, like, New York City person. She came to New York City when she was, like, 19 and, like, met and hung out with, like, a ton of people and has, like, done a ton of things. And she's, like, this
so familiar.
very opinionated, kind of crotchety, hermity, like, old lesbian with a lot of opinions, some of which I don't quite agree with, which is why I was on the fence. But ultimately, it's an enjoyable show. So the show is, she's, like, good friends with Martin Scorsese, and this is, like, Martin Scorsese presents Pretend It's a City with Fran Lebowitz. It's basically, like, her monologuing about different things for 7 sets of 30 minutes. And some of which is very enjoyable. She's like, she came to New York City when she was like 19. She like worked with Andy Warhol. She like was friends with like several like she like had like brunch once with like Duke Ellington. She was like in the circles of like a lot of like famous people. I'm like she met like everybody. She like went to like one of the most famous like Muhammad Ali fights. It's just like this. She's like done a lot of crazy stuff, and it's just like very like not blasé about it, but just like she's got this like very strong personality. Anyway, it's just funny because she's just this kind of like grumpy, like well-dressed lesbian with these like funny opinions, and she's just like monologuing about them for it's a little like Kids These Days, a little bit, but really funny. Like she's a humorist, and it's funny stuff, and it's kind of cool to just she has been in New York City for a really long time, and so just like talking about how it was and walking around, and especially now where you like can't travel, it's kind of fun to have that also kind of vicarious travel element to it as well. So yeah, I think the reason I hesitate is just she kind of spouts out, not at length, some things she touches on just like a little insensitive, not on the whole, but just like some things I was like, ooh, like I wish she didn't say that. But for the most part, it's quite amusing, and it's been just like a nice little thing to watch while we eat dinner. I'm trying to think what else, and just like so it's her sitting at a table with Martin Scorsese, who's like not really saying anything. He's just like laughing at her jokes. And this other guy, who they never mention who he is, I have no idea who she is. He's like asking her questions. But it's mostly her monologuing, or like clips of her walking around the city, or like also clips of her in a live setting. I think like she did a kind of a live tour with Martin Scorsese too, in this kind of Q&A format where she'll take questions from the audience and then just like monologue for a while and be really funny. And what else? And some segments, I don't know what this was from, maybe it's just for the show, but it's her like sitting almost in a late night show style with Alex Baldwin, Olivia Wilde, and Spike Lee. Like, what?
Alex Baldwin.
I heard that too.
Alec Baldwin. No, it's a different Baldwin
that's a
brother.
Contender for best joke.
No, I like to think that you were. In my head, I was spelling it like ALEC''S.
I have been doing that. I said this in Slack. I recently accidentally referred to Celine Dion as Celine's Dion's.
No, not Alec Baldwin. The Baldwin that belongs to Alec.
Yeah,
Alex Baldwin.
Alex Baldwin's. And Spike Lee's also. So just interesting. She's just like this like little Jewish lesbian, this like old, she's not old, but she like has this very old, she's like in her like 65 or something, but she just has this very old way about her. She's talking with these famous
really
people
in her 65.
She's like in her 65s, and just talking to these like famous people kind of nonchalantly about these like very famous, these other famous people that she's just like been in the orbit of, but talking about them in a very like, she's just not impressed by anything, and is just like very, I think she has this reputation of being, she's very opinionated. A lot of people don't like her for it, and she just like doesn't give a shit. She just like has. So anyway, I kind of love that. You know, that's kind of my whole like. I love an opinionated person who's kind of monologuing. I think it could be, if they're funny about it. Like I just like can really get into that. So, I really liked it. So check it on out. Oh, and a tip. the credits roll, you skip to the next episode. There's like a lot of stuff through the credits. So just like watch the whole, let Netflix move it along for you, because there's actually like stuff after the credits, and I think I missed it on the first episode. So
You idiot.
How many
don't skip the
episodes
credits.
is it?
7.
Okay.
So that twice. That was my third time saying it.
Yeah, she said it twice.
Third time's the charm. So that's what
Wasn't for us.
Well, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
She just got some opinions you don't like, but like she doesn't care. So
I think I don't know what her opinion is. She's said a couple insensitive things that I didn't really care for, but yeah, she wouldn't give a shit about it. I'd like to so she's a writer, but like she had a few bestsellers when she was young, and then has famously had writer's block for like decades and decades and decades. So I want to get some of her writings because it'd be interesting in reading them, as you do with writings. And
writings are for readings.
Yeah, they are. Like she was like apparently like a very close and longtime friend of Toni Morrison and like other famous people. I don't know. It just seems like a interesting person who I'd enjoy like overhearing at a party. Perhaps not talking to.
What'd you say?
But perhaps not talking to. Yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly that kind of person.
Yep.
Cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah. Pretend it's a city.
No.
Which is her advice for people, for the people who are in a city and are like just standing in the middle of a sidewalk. You know what I say to them? Pretend it's a city.
Well, great one, Erin.
Yeah, thank you.
Short one.
Short and sweet.
Should we pop into Ben?
Yeah, Ben. What's going on, Ben?
What you got?
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hi,
Hello, Ben.
I work a lot lately, making boberts,
robots.
and
Not Lauren.
not Lauren. I didn't make her, and QAnon made her.
Yeah.
But I like a game. It's a tabletop game, little board game you might have heard of. It's been around a while.
Wow.
It's called chess.
Oh,
chess.
wow. Who you been playing
I've
chess
never
with?
heard of it, actually.
I've been playing chess with Kylie,
Good.
and I've been playing chess against people online, and also I've been doing chess puzzles because those are fun.
What are chess puzzles?
Basically, it like gives you can either do like themed ones where it's like you can like practice common checkmates, like it'll show you a board position and you have to find the checkmate in like one or two moves, or you can do like ones where it's just random and it's like you're given a board state in the middle of the game and have to find what the best move is, or best series of moves. And those are really fun and really helpful for learning how to get better at chess, because it's a game of patterns, and you can
Passion.
sure and you can really pick up on like common scenarios and everything.
Do you always say scenario
Yeah.
versus scenario?
Yeah, I never say scenario. I think it sounds wrong to me.
Have I ever told you that my husband and my mother-in-law both say negotiate?
What? Excuse me.
What?
I don't think that's
What?
valid.
I'm sorry. What?
I don't think that's in the set of things you're allowed to say.
Well, here's the thing. I think they both say it because Ian's going to text me if he doesn't agree, but I think they both say it because they both played Pilgrims and got like dialect training for like old-timey accents.
Okay.
And it doesn't come out on any other word, but both of them just say it that way, and they never even notice.
It's non-negotiable.
It's non-negotiable. I've never heard them say negotiable, but I've heard them say negotiate a lot.
You're not allowed to say negotiate and then negotiable. Like you have to
You gotta commit.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask him to say
I had a
it.
friend growing up whose dad is British, but he grew up in America, and so he like has an American accent. Except for the word water, he says water.
Wow.
It's really weird.
You can't pick and choose.
You do though. Do you remember when our cousins moved back from England and we used to make them say the word butterscotch all the time?
Butterscotch, yeah. I can't do it though.
Wait, who lived in England again?
Rachel and Jesse and Andy. And
They did? Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot about that entirely.
Yeah, and they said all their words pretty normal after a little while, except they said butterscotch. Maybe they just could say it like that.
they
I
could
don't
say
think
it like that, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think they did.
But
Remember when we lived in England for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
We did, all three of us, and several other members of our family. Oh, that was fun.
Anyway.
You know what else
So
is
scenarios.
fun? Chess.
Yes.
You were into chess over Thanksgiving. You were playing with our brother.
Yeah. Yeah, we played his... Well, he played his father-in-law also over Skype.
Online. That's right.
Yeah. And maybe after hearing this, he'll want to play me online, which I'd be happy to do.
Oh, neato.
It's just this fun. I don't want to... I think chess is one of those things you can get, like, really, really into if you want. And I don't want that. That's not what I'm going for. Like, I don't want to, like, get really good and, like, try to get really highly rated online or some shit. I really just enjoy it, and I like how it makes me think. And one thing I really, really like about it, and this is... So I've been watching this one chess YouTuber named Hikaru, who is a grandmaster and like the US chess champion for a few years. And he also is sponsored by TSM, which is an esports team, because I don't know if either of you were like tuned into this last year, because I wasn't really. I was like sort of. But chess got like really, really big on Twitch last year. And
No,
part of it was, I think it was Hikaru and chess.com like started this tournament called PogChamps, where they like had a bunch of famous streamers on for like a pretty big prize pool. And I think they're doing a third one in February, but they've done two. And like it was a bunch of huge streamers who were like preparing for this tournament, so they were like getting coached by a bunch of really good chess players who are like, I feel like when I think of like a chess grandmaster, I think of like an old, stodgy white dude. Mm-hmm. But there's like a lot of really like young people who are really good at chess now. Like there are a lot of grandmasters, and a lot of them are relatively young. There's like these two sisters from Canada, the Botez sisters, who stream on Twitch and just like play a bunch of chess and do chess coaching with like famous streamers before PogChamps and stuff. And Hikaru was coaching Pokimane because she's going to play in the next PogChamps. And I watched a couple of videos of him giving her like lessons as like a very beginner. And he's a really good teacher, and it's very interesting to hear him talk about chess and like the way to look for patterns and everything. And one of the things he said in one of those videos, which really stuck with me, was like, the really nice thing about chess is that you always have complete information, which is really unlike a lot of other games that involve strategy. Like, I feel like the thing that's most similar to it that I played a lot is like collectible card games, where there's always the element of like, you don't know what you're going to draw next, and you don't know what your opponent has or is going to draw next. So there's like that, and that's like part of the design of it. With chess, it's like everyone can always see what the situation is. It's just like who is better at spotting the way to use the situation to their advantage best. Which I like that whole element of it.
Can I ask you a cue about chess?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's something you can get like good at on the job, like without studying it? Like, do you think just by playing it a lot and not having to like study any of the moves or the patterns, you could just get good by like learning from your mistakes? I
think like chess. So there's like a rating system for chess, where you have like a certain number. I feel like it's probably something like you could get to a certain point just by like doing puzzles and like kind of learning by instinct what the best things are to do. But I feel like you'd hit a wall eventually where you'd need to actually like start studying to get any higher. And I kind of feel like I'm at that point, maybe. I mean, like, obviously I could get a lot better just from doing puzzles still. I haven't been like doing them that long, but like I'm at my rating's like around 800 to 900 on chess.com in rapid ratings. I have no idea what the scale, I think the scale is up to like really fucking high for GMs, so I have no idea like if that's at all high or anything. I don't think it is. I think it's pretty low. But
Weird
I'll
scale.
like get a little bit above 900, and then usually it seems like people know what they're doing more, and then I lose.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm sort of bumping against that. Maybe I'm just like bumping against a skill gap that I could still conquer by doing more puzzles. I don't know.
But yeah, like, because there's all these like named like strategies and techniques and stuff, and it does seem like those are not things that would come to you organically, or maybe they are, but it would take you so long.
Really
to
cool
learn and
about doing
recognize them.
games on chess.com is after the games you can go back and there's like an automatic analyzer, and you can run through every move of the game, and it will tell you like what the best move would have been on every turn, which is really neat. And also like if you missed a checkmate, or if you like, it's just really neat.
Is there always a best move? Like one best move?
I think in some situations there definitively is.
Yeah.
But then I think in other situations it's somewhat subjective, because there are definitely strategies that people employ where like they will... Are you guys familiar with like the points for different pieces in chess? Like
No.
in order to generally determine who's ahead, every piece has been assigned like a point value that, like, pawns are 1, knights and bishops are 3, rooks are 5, and queens are 9 points. And so like just looking at who's captured, you can roughly get an idea who's captured what. You can roughly get an idea of who's ahead. That's like a really rough thing. And like that's when people talk about being ahead on like the number of pieces, they're gonna be like ahead on material. I don't know why, but that's just like the terminology for some reason. So there are strategies where like you will go behind on material on purpose to get yourself into a better position, like on the board, if that makes sense. And so even if like mathematically it could be the wrong move, in that you'll end up behind, like you'll have fewer points, quote unquote, than your opponent. But I feel like I feel like the analysis tool in chess.com compensates for that somewhat, because like it knows all of the like named stuff. Like while you're playing the game, it records all the moves like you would if you were playing in a tournament. And it'll also like at the beginning, because basically every like beginning situation has some name at this point, I think. And it'll like tell you what thing they did. Like it'll tell you the name of it at the top, and you're like, oh, okay. I don't know what to do with that because I don't care, but it does tell me that.
It tells you while you're still playing or afterwards?
Yeah, while you're playing.
Huh.
It like tells you, I think it tells you basically like what opening your opponent used or something. I don't know. Or maybe it tells you what opening you used. I haven't figured it out because I don't know what the names mean.
I'm trying to do a puzzle. I'm really failing at it. It's interesting. Oh, good.
Was it cheese.com?
Yeah, cheese.com.
Okay. Cool. Cheese.com, specialty cheeses. Where are the puzzles?
You go, they're on like the left.
That doesn't. Is it simplest ways to cut different types of cheese? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Cheese.com seems like a nice website. This is the biggest wheel of cheese I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Cool. Chess. Everybody check checkers it out.
Chess.
I think the reason I asked that, Ben, is that I got into chess for a little while, but then I started to feel like maybe I could never get good unless I studied, and I'm like, that's not what a game is. You know, I've like feeling like I had to study in order to ever win or to like have a chance at winning. Just like really killed my boner for it. You know,
yeah,
so to speak.
I may get to that point and just stop playing. I don't really ever see myself as the kind of person who would like start studying to get good at a game. Like I in high school, I would very often play chess with the members of the chess club, but I never joined the chess club.
Fascinating.
It was just like, I feel like kind of summarizes my relationship with chess pretty well. Like I went to one tournament with them and then I never went again, but I still would like play with them at lunch just because I liked playing chess. And they were all better than me because they would like study chess at least to some extent with the like chess club advisor, who I also really liked and was really cool, but I never felt compelled to like get more into it than like playing with people who are good and enjoying that challenge.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, sometimes knowing that there's a best move in any game can kind of take some of the magic out of it for me.
Yeah, right.
I feel like I can see that, except that when there are just simply so many possible moves on any given turn.
Yeah, I find it overwhelming personally, but I think that is partially just practice. Like I like to keep track of what's going on the whole board. To me, is exactly as disorienting as trying to, like when I used to try to play team sports and keep track of where everybody was on my team and the opposite team. And I was very bad at that as well. So I just like, it's overwhelming to my brain.
That's actually another way puzzles are really helpful, I think, is because you're just like dropped into the board. And so you have to like take a moment. And if you're doing rated puzzles, then you get more points if you do it quickly. I don't really care about that much, but like if you want to, you have to like assess the situation really quickly. And like I said, there's always complete information. So like, it's not like you're missing anything by not having seen all the moves up to that point, but it is still like, I don't know, it makes it easier when you're actually in a real game to like more readily recognize a situation you feel like you've sort of been in because you did a puzzle that was similar to it.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll try some puzzles.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. But that's cool. You know, whatever works to stretch your brain out and give you some relaxation, I'm all for that.
I feel like that's something I really like about Dominion, which I've been playing a lot, is like you can kind of build your own strategy, and there's nothing saying that it's not gonna work, right? Like even if it's crazy or something, like you can kind of just like, I don't know. I'm not saying chess is not creative because I think it can be, but like that sort of like you can rely on your like kind of scrappiness to like,
yeah, or you can just decide your goals are different.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like
exactly.
You just want as many rats as possible.
Yeah. You just kind of kamikaze because you're just
oh my god.
Fun.
I wanted to. I was so busy. I forgot to. When you said that message about like doing a whole rats game, I wanted to send you the picture of the game where I made my deck entirely rats. I had literally nothing but rats. It's so great.
If you're curious about Dominion, we talked about Dominion 2 times. We talked about it once in episode 14. That's a nicely proved bun. And we talked about it.
Wow, that's my Twitter name.
Yeah. Talked about in episode 52. You know where their beans get.
2 podcast episode names that were about cats. Different cats, though.
Molly and I have been playing so much Dominion, and on the weekends, we'll play 3 games at brunch, and then we'll play like 2 games at dinner, like Saturday and Sunday. Yeah,
wow,
it's been
amazing.
We've been tearing it up with Dominion. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, I haven't played it yet, but apparently can play it with 2 players, so we're going to try it at some point. ages ago, like pre-ordered the Adventure Zone board game, or it's like a tabletop game. It's like an RPG with characters and stuff from the Balance arc in it, and then also a bunch of extra stuff that's like kind of adjacent to the Balance arc. And it's like an RPG, but there's no DM or GM. It's kind of run by cards and stuff. So we haven't like sat down and played it yet, but I'm excited to try that with Ian.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool looking. It took forever to get here because of the delays at the port, but they sent me a lot of very nice emails about it.
At the port?
Yeah, in California. I never actually saw the picture, but there's been like huge port delays in California because there are like pretty much because COVID has wiped out the population of like people actually working at the docks. Wow. So not like killed, but like they're not working right now. They're either afraid to come to work or they're sick, or somewhere in between. And so there have been just like massive, and not only that, but the shipping companies too have like a lot of everybody who's out working in the world in California. It's like 1 in 5 people in LA or something that have, maybe it might even be more than that now, that have COVID. So like everybody's just getting it. So it's like everywhere along the whole supply chain for everybody except like Amazon, who's taking up all the volume that's left, is backed up, super backed up. We've been dealing with it at my job. That's why I know so much about it. But anyway, I have it now. And that's all that matters.
Not COVID, but her game.
Not COVID. I don't think I have COVID.
Oh, so I finally got COVID.
I've been waiting, and it finally got here.
Came to the port.
Should we pop into me now?
Yeah, what you got?
Thanks,
what you
Ben.
got, dude?
Thanks for
Great
chess.
job, Ben. Chess.
What you got?
I have been obsessed with a band.
Hey.
I want to tell the story of how I came to be obsessed with this band because they're not new to me at all. So on Tuesday we were doing our usual
Stream.
Yes, with our friends Matt and Andrea, and we had some friends of Matt's in the chat and some of his just like followers or subscribers or whatever. One of them is named Will, and he lives in South Carolina, and there was another person in there who lives in North Carolina in Boone, and so they were talking about bluegrass festivals in those various places where they live, and so we got to chatting with them about like what they would recommend for bluegrass musicians and stuff, because we don't really get, except for like maybe 1 or 2 acts at Newport Folk Festival, we don't really get bluegrass festivals up here. And they recommended a band called Iron Horse, who is known for their covers of other like bands and other genres, but done in a bluegrass fashion. And the first one that jumped out at me was an album called The Bluegrass Tribute to the Shins. And I was like, oh, the Shins. It's from 2007, so it's like songs from their first two or three albums. And they just kind of like picked a few of them, and I started listening to those, and they're really good. And I would recommend Iron Horse, but my actual obsession is the Shins, because as I was listening to these bluegrass covers, I was like, oh man, I love these songs so much. And so I actually went back I came back to this later, but I went over to the Shins page on Spotify, and I listened to their whole discography chronologically, almost up to present day, but not quite, because I'll tell you why. Excuse me.
Wait, before we move on from bluegrass, I feel like we should say bluegrass more like blue ass.
Hey.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me tell Kylie about that one.
Yeah, go ahead and shoot that over to Kylie.
Okay, Kylie, we have one more for you. Let us know what you think. Ben said it. Bluegrass, more like blue ass. Am I right? Okay, let us know if I'm right. Okay.
Hold on.
All right, so, wait.
Hold on.
Okay.
Thanks in advance.
Should we explain? I feel like we missed the boat on explaining much earlier, but Marco Polo is a video chatting app. We've talked about it in a previous episode. Which episode did we talk about it in? It was
And now we're
Erin's
just
edition.
spamming Kylie, which I'm feeling good about.
Yeah. I need to just check what Marco Polo.
Was it anybody's obsession?
Yeah, it was
mine?
yours. Yeah.
Was it mine?
148, episode 148, can't turn daddy's lights off. Erin Erin talked about Kylie is talking.
That one gets a solid thumbs up for me.
Cool.
Yes!
Yes.
Hold on. No one do anything. Thumbs up or like bums up. Am I right?
Fuck yes.
Hold on, what she said.
I hate that fucking got me, dude.
Yes! Fucking got her.
Oh man. Okay.
Perfect.
Great. So that's another joke in the running for best joke of the episode. Keep that one
Cool.
in mind. Okay. So that's how I got back into the Shins this week. I've been listening to them since Wednesday, almost constantly.
Since when?
While I've been working.
Since
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Since when?
Since when?
On Wednesday.
Actually, Wednesday afternoon. It was.
You can't actually know when anything happens on Wednesday. That's why it's called Wednesday?
Wednesday?
Oh, that's interesting.
There's something there. That wasn't it, but there's something. Continue.
There's something there, yeah. And I know all the songs really well. I remember them really well, even though I haven't listened to them in a lot of years. Okay, let me tell you about the Shins a little bit. Have you all?
I
You both
fucking
listened
love
to them,
the
right?
Shins, dude.
Huh?
I love the Shins.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna tell people what years these albums came out.
That would really help them to get to know the Shins. Is knowing that the years that the albums came out.
So the first one that's on Spotify, I don't think it's their first one, but it was their first big one because it's the one that New Slang was on, is Oh Inverted World, which came out in 2001. And then Shoots Too Narrow was in 2003. So those were both when I was in high school. And then Wine Sing the Night Away, which was their third album, came out in 2007.
White Sing the Night Away. Interesting. Go on.
Do you say Wincing?
Wait, what? That wasn't an accident?
Wine Sing? No?
Erin, I feel like you're not responding enough to this.
What's happening? Sorry, I was listening to Shins. What's going on?
Hannah, go ahead and say that album name again.
Wine Sing the Night Away?
Okay, it's Wincing. Wincing?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Have you always said wine
Do you
sing?
think that's the way that word is pronounced?
I don't know.
It's Wincing. Is that a pilgrim thing? Is this
Hannah.
another pilgrim thing?
I was never
Hannah,
a pilgrim.
this isn't okay.
Okay, so this is the thing I wanted to talk about with the Shins, though. After Wincing the Night Away, there was a 5-year
You did
gap.
it again.
And then an album came out called Port of Morrow, which was in 2012. And I love that album, but I think a lot of it is sentimental attachment because I was listening to it constantly when Ian and I first started dating. And so it reminds me of like falling in love with the person I ended up marrying. Like, so.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. But then I read up on what happened in those 5 years, and I don't know a lot about James Mercer. I know he's made a ton of good music. He was like one of the leads in Broken Bells also, which is an excellent band.
I love Broken Bells.
But I took a screenshot from their from the Wikipedia page for the Shins that I was looking at earlier today, because here's what it says.
Wait, before
Okay.
you read it, can I tell you? I want to see if I want to throw out my interpretation of having done no research. I feel like it's just things I remember hearing about when I was younger.
Okay.
Is that he would do shit like basically just replace the entire band every few years. Is that a true thing?
So he formed the band. He like the Shins, I guess technically, and in his mind means like James Mercer plus whatever like bandmates he chooses,
Plus
right?
pals.
Yeah, plus pals. But all three of those albums that I listed off before, like the 2001 through 2007 albums, were the same group of people, himself included. And then after those three albums, the Wincing the Night Away won a Grammy or earned a Grammy nomination. The Shins got signed to Columbia Records, and then Mercer parted ways with the entire original lineup, deeming it an aesthetic decision.
Wow.
Oh, God. Okay. Yikes.
Yeah, and then there was a 5-year hiatus, and then Port of Morrow came out.
Wow.
So I didn't know that when I was listening to Port of Morrow, and then I heard about it, and then I was like, that's weird. And then I didn't ever even hear about when the other two albums came out. And I did listen to a little bit of them this week. I didn't like them as much, but it's hard to say how much of that was me knowing that he seems like kind of a dick and how much of it was the actual music. It's possible I would warm up to it if I listen more. I just don't really think I want to. But I still think the first 3 and really first 4 albums that the Shins have out on Spotify are just like so good. And I just love them. They remind me very much so of being up really late at night working my security job in college, where I would just sit at a desk until 3 a.m. and sign people in and out. I would listen to the Shins constantly. I was by myself most of the time, so I could like sing alone in these like dorm lobbies. Or I have this very distinct memory of this. It's distinct in this one way, where I think it was like a year or two after college, and I don't know where I was. It was either a friend of a friend's house that I had never been to before, or it was a house I had been to before, but I was like so stoned that it didn't feel familiar at all. And I remember sitting, like smoking outside, being so high that I would normally be like miserable at that point. Like so high that I should have descended into just like total paranoia and shut down and ended up just having to go to sleep, because that's what happens when I get too high, which is every time I try to get high these days. But I, instead of doing that, I went inside away from other people and sat in this like comfy chair and just put the Shins like first 2 or 3 albums on shuffle in my headphones. And I just like had, I mean, basically just vivid hallucinations sitting in this chair for like, I don't know how long. It felt like hours, but I've ever since then just felt like even more love for those first 3 albums, because I don't remember what I saw, but I just remember it being like the only time I've ever had a good time while being that stoned in my whole life. So that's my connection with the Shins, and that's what my obsession is this week.
So we hadn't heard him in a while, so it was high time for you to listen to his albums again.
Yeah. I don't smoke anymore. I just can't handle it anymore.
She's
but
too
it puts
old.
me back in that mindset. Yeah. You know, I do, like, I think that it's a tolerance thing, right? And you just like, you build up and lose tolerance based on how often you smoke. And it's just like, it's what you get used to. Like, okay. Because I was like, by the end of college, kind of a total stoner. And so I knew, like, every time that I got high enough, I was going to think I was peeing my pants. But I wasn't.
Wow.
And I knew I wasn't, and I didn't have to check anymore because I knew I wasn't, because it happened every time. But that's the sort of thing that can get you really paranoid and make you have a bad time. If you have to
doesn't sound fun. This is cracking me up. Ben, did you put yourself on mute to laugh?
No. Okay. Oh my God.
I didn't see that coming.
But it's not a good time if you're not expecting it. But if you know that you're going to think that and it's not going to be true, then it's like very easy to move past it, you know?
So that's like your number one concern when you're smoking pot.
Am I peeing?
Oh my fucking God. That's so funny. Christ.
Yeah. I never
Stop
have.
checking. You're not peeing your pants. Stop checking. Would you like write that on your hands? You're not peeing your pants. Cool. Guys, great news. I'm not peeing my pants. I don't even need to check.
The worst is that one time you do pee your pants and you didn't check because you convinced yourself you didn't need to.
Yeah,
and then
it
you're
destroys-
just fucked for all the other
It
times.
destroys all your progress. You can never not check again.
All that trust you'd built up with yourself. Gone. It's like an SNL skit.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah, it's
good
just
stuff. Yeah,
it takes
you know?
practice. It's having a good time when you're stoned is like chess. It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
So that's
You can sometimes not be paranoid that you're not peeing your pants when you're stoned, but you can always not be paranoid that you're not peeing your pants, that you're not peeing your pants when you're sober. That's
Well
what I
said.
say.
Yeah, but you can't hallucinate to a Shins album when you're sober.
What'd you say?
So you can't hallucinate to a Shins album
Yeah,
when
that's
you're
true.
sober.
That's the only downside.
Yeah, what's your response to that, Erin?
I mean, that sucks. I mean,
Like,
it's
I don't want
unfortunate.
to. I just don't want to underplay the benefits. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like talk any minors into smoking pot, but like I do feel like everyone, you know, once they're responsible for their own selves, should get high at least once in their life. That's something I've said for a long time. Mm-hmm. So,
And it should be when you're 12. Hannah's always said this. 12-year-old should get really high.
and
the
pee
younger
their
you
pants.
are, the younger you are, the less paranoid you're going to be about the pee thing.
Ideally, while you're still in diapers.
You're all set. And then if you don't have to be paranoid because, like, you can just go ahead, let it out. Let it happen.
Ultimate freedom.
Sometimes
Ultimate freedom.
Sometimes to relax, I like to throw on a pair of adult diapers and sit in the corner and listen to a Shins album and get very high. And just let whatever happens, happen.
There should be an adult diaper brand called Ultimate Freedom.
Or like a Stadium Pal or something.
Yeah.
Just let it happen.
There should be an adult diaper brand called Let It Happen.
Let it happen.
No, it's ultimate freedom, and the tagline is let it.
Let it happen.
Wow.
She'll be in the corner, wincing the night away.
Nice.
What? Weinstein.
So, do we want to talk about? Do you feel good about wincing versus wincing?
Can I? Do you?
Do you feel good about that?
How did this happen? That's what I want to know. Do you say wince also, like when it's just the singular, just the verb?
I think so.
Wow,
I think I do.
this is a revelation.
Hold on.
You
Is
know-
there a pronunciation guide for it?
Yeah, just
Good
Google.
question.
Just Google it.
Wait, what's the fake one?
It's pretty
Pronunciation manual.
cut and dry.
Manual.
It's pretty cut and dry.
Wincing.
So,
Wincing?
Wincing.
you know that word assuage? You know that one?
Yeah.
I had kind of been pronouncing it in a way that rhymes with sausage.
I, for a while, would say I had never heard anyone say the word preface out loud. And the first time I tried to say it out loud, I did say preface.
That's okay.
Like pre-cum.
That is not okay. Jesus Christ, Hannah. God damn it.
Why did you almost whisper that?
Why did you say that to me? Why did you put that in my ears? I have headphones in. That's so rude. You like whispered that directly into my ears. Like,
It's like pre-cum.
no. Jesus, Hannah. Respect the lesbians in your life.
Oh my god.
So rude.
All right. We need to do homework. Wrap this up.
We gotta wrap this up. That's what she said. Okay.
Erin, what's your homework?
That's what she said before slapping on her adult diaper. All right. Gotta wrap this up.
Freedom.
Let it happen.
All right. What's my homework? My homework is, if you want, check out Pretend It's a City on Netflix. Let me know what you think. Okay. I have a website, earnbrand.com. I've got mylesbianlearninglibrary.com. I've got queerworksback.com. Those are things. Goodbye. Take a bath.
Take a bath. Ben, what's your homework?
Play chess or do chess puzzles on chess.com.
Cheese.com. Got it.
I'm gonna go
My Twitter is Nicely Proof Ben. My Twitch is Cisco Greg.
Everything I said about cheese.com was true. It's a real website. You can
Sure it
check
is.
it out.
No one's trying to tell you it isn't.
Erin was checking, I think, just to make sure.
No, I was not checking.
spelled
I
it-
was
okay,
going
so
to
I spelled it.
cheese.com.
I spelled it, I accidentally spelled it CHESSE.com. And this is interesting, the options I have on this website. It just says related links, and then there's play chess, play game, cyber ransom, play, game computer, menu, play chess against computer.
Game computer.
That's weird.
I'm very into cheese.com. This is actually a fantastic website.
It's a great resource.
Yeah.
Wow, alphabetical is the first. Oh my god, incredible. Wait, I love that the first thing on the top of the page is just the word alphabetical, and it's just an alphabetical list of all the cheeses.
Wow.
It is,
that
and I
true?
love how Baby Bell is listed as a type of cheese. That amuses me.
Alphabetical. Wow. Cheeses by category, vegetarian cheeses, cheese facts, cheese and wine pairings. Amazing.
That's a cheese fact.
Yeah.
Gosh, I do love a Baby Bell.
Me
I
too.
love the Baby Bell.
My favorite is the white chocolate, white cheddar. The white cheddar Baby Bells.
I love that white chocolate Baby
You know that they're all wrapped in white chocolate. Did you guys know
I
that's white
just
chocolate?
love Baby Bell.
I love a Baby Bell.
All right, my homework is listen to the Shins' first 3 or 4 albums, and don't listen to the last few. And listen to Broken Bells also, and listen to Iron Horse. They have a lot of fun covers of all different types of genres of music, as well as original bluegrass. Well, they're bluegrass classics, but they're not covers of other songs, other genres.
Other genres.
If you want to call us or text us, maybe let us know what your favorite part of cheese.com is. You can do that at 774-326-0420.
Blaze it.
Blaze it.
Blaze it. But don't tell Blaze it. You can find us on...
Dial. Blaze it.
Don't do it.
Don't fucking do it.
Oh. Do it. Don't do it. I'm on TikTok also, Hannah and her cats. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Anthropology. I forgot to say that. We're on Twitter at 2BroadPod. We're on Instagram at WayTooBroad. You can email us like Sam did this week. Thank you, Sam. At WayTooBroad@gmail.com. And if you miss any of that, if you want to find links to any of that stuff that we talked, about, just so burpy, you can do that at WayTooBroad.com for anything you want. EarnBen.com for anything
you need.
Erin, what's at MaxFun.org?
It's a picture of a dog on the boat, and that's it.
That's it. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you want to. We'd appreciate it. And that's all.
Have a nice day.
That's it. Have a great day, and thanks for listening. We love you.
And don't dial Blaze it. Just can't stress
Don't
that
tell.
enough.
Don't tell.
Please don't.
Please don't. We don't know what will happen to you.
We're gonna get in trouble.
Feds will come for us.
Okay, the podcast candles
Yes.
are now Extinguish.
You're done. Goodbye.
Bye. Don't outblaze it.
Swear to God.
Swear to God.
More like Darriers. Do you guys remember that?
More like derriere hairs. Am I right?
Oh,
You know, like butt hairs.
do you remember?
Ben, can you go tell Kylie about that one and see if she likes that one?
What was it? What was it?
Terriers. More like derriere hairs. Am I right?
Okay, yeah, I'll try that one. I have a new submission from Erin.